People join. Okay. We'll start in 2 minutes.
Hi everyone, welcome to Amul live session. Today we're making baked cheese samosa. Usually samosa were always deep fried, but today we're making a very simple recipe with a little different filling using all the delicious Amul products. And we're baking the samosas. They're still going to be very flaky, very crispy, very delicious. So let's begin. We're going to first start with our dough, and for that, into a mixing bowl, I'm going to add some maida or plain flour. To this, I'm going to add some seasoning, just 2 simple things, some salt and some chili flakes. And I will be posting the complete recipe with the ingredient list, with the quantities, everything towards the end of the session. So add that into your flour. Next, we're going to add some flour and ghee. You can use the cow ghee, the butter ghee, your choice. I like to use the cow ghee. I'm going to add that.
Pour some. No rice. Not edited.
Okay. Do I need to be louder? Yeah? Voice is very important.
Lots of noise. Not edited.
Okay. Is the voice better now? I don't know if can you tell us if you're able to hear? Yes? Is anyone saying anything? I hope you all are able to hear now. Do I just need to be louder because everything is off? There is no exhaust, no fan, no chimney. Everything is switched off, so I don't know why there is disturbance. Is there any disturbance? Is anyone saying anything? So I guess you all are able to hear. Okay, perfect. I think it's better now. So, for all those who just joined in, we're making baked cheese samosa using delicious Amul paneer and Amul cheese and ghee and milk and all the amazing Amul products. And here we're starting first with the dough, the samosa dough. And for that we have some all-purpose flour or maida. We have some salt and some chili flakes. And to this we're going to add Amul pure ghee. I will be listing the complete recipe with the quantity towards the end of this session. Okay, so add in pure ghee. And we're going to start mixing this. Now it's very important that we mix the flour and the ghee really nicely, because this is what ensures a very flaky texture in your final samosa crust. You're going to rub the ghee, and what this does is every grain of flour gets nicely coated with the fat, and that's what makes it crisp and flaky. Right now,
do something.
huh?
Not yours, do something. No audio. No voice.
Can you see it as well, right? Maybe the phone is too far. Is the voice a little better because I brought my phone closer? I don't know if that's making any difference.
आवाज स्पष्ट नहीं है. Try logging out and coming back again. Fan is on.
Huh?
Guessing fan is on. What are the ingredients?
There is no fan.
Okay, so Gitanjali is asking what are the ingredients.
The ingredients are in this so far is maida, plain flour, salt, chili flakes, and ghee. That's it. That's all I have so far. And to this, I'm going to add Amul milk, Amul taza, and this is going to help bind the dough really nicely. Very good mix.
मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा.
Volume.
I think it's a problem with the here.
Yeah, everyone has to be something. But everything is off. Everything can be flavor.
No flavor. You have added corn flour?
No. Is it working now? Is everyone able to hear now or no? Because I connected my headphones. I don't know if this is going to help. Is it helping? Yes. Can someone say if you can hear me or not?
Better.
Better? Yeah, okay. Okay. Sorry about the audio. I'm not sure what the issue was, but we just tried connecting the headphones, and I hope it's working now. Okay. So for all those who well, I know you all were here, but you could not hear me. So what I've done here is I've made a very simple samosa dough, and this has maida, salt, red chili flakes, and ghee, and I just mixed it really nicely to coat the flour with the ghee really well. And then I added some Amul milk, and then I just made this nice soft dough. That's all I've done so far. Very, very simple. I will be posting the complete recipe with the quantities as well towards the end in writing, so you all can refer back when you want to make it. Okay, so this is done. Once your dough comes together, I'm just going to wrap this in some plastic wrap so it can rest for about 5-10 minutes before we start making. Okay, so I've just gotten a piece of plastic wrap, and I'm just going to wrap this up, and we're just going to set this aside. I'm going to wash my hands and be right back. Okay, so our samosa dough is ready. Now usually, as you all know, samosas are an indulgent snack. They're deep fried, but this is going to be a baked version, just as crispy and flaky. And the filling is going to be something a little different. Usually it's our usual potato and green peas, but today we're doing it with Amul paneer and Amul cheese. So it's going to be somewhat like a chili cheese toast, but in a samosa. Really delicious and very simple. We're going to make the filling now, and for that, here I have some crumbled Amul paneer. We'll add that to our mixing bowl. Okay, next we're going to add in some grated Amul processed cheese, and this is what makes all the difference. If you use any other kind of cheese, it's not going to taste the same. You need Amul cheese for that really nice salty flavor. Okay, next we're going to add in some finely chopped onion. The best part is you don't have to cook anything in this filling, you just add everything raw and just mix it up and it's done. Very easy. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay. We've added the onion, now we're going to add the green capsicum. Make sure you chop everything very finely, otherwise it will tend to tear the samosa dough when you're filling it. When it's finely chopped, it will just kind of stay in without disturbing the dough on the outside. Next, some green chilies, also finely chopped. Green coriander.
Sarika is saying, could you please have a quick recap?
A quick recap? Yes, sure. We can do that. So what we did is we made a very simple samosa dough first. We combined some maida, some salt, chili flakes and ghee, rubbed it really nicely, and then added some almond milk and made a soft dough that I've wrapped in plastic wrap, because when you wrap this dough, it kind of stays in the, it becomes nice and soft when it stays in the plastic, as it sweats a little bit. So, okay. And I've also, yeah, so that is it. That's it for the dough. And for the filling, we did some paneer, some Amul processed cheese, onion, green chili, green capsicum, green coriander. And now for the spices, we are just adding some chaat masala and some garam masala. That's it. There's no other spices, no other seasonings, just two simple spices, and we're not adding any salt because the chaat masala is already salty, and the Amul cheese is also quite salty, so there's no need to add any additional salt. Just give this all a good mix.
They are still saying voice is not clear.
Voice is still not clear.
No, everyone is saying.
Is voice still an issue? I'm not sure why that's happening. I'm gonna have to have that checked.
Seema Nayak is saying, don't worry. Nidhi is saying it's clear. Sonia is saying it's clear.
Okay. So all those who are saying it's not clear, maybe you need to turn up your phone volume, or maybe it's something with your phone, because I believe now it is working. I hope it is.
Yeah, Anita Bhatia is saying yes, it's very perfect.
Okay, excellent. Okay, that's good. So if it's audible to most of them, then I believe it is everything's okay. All right. Now filling is done. That's it. That's literally it. So simple. You just have to mix everything, and that's your filling. Now, what we're going to do is, before we start rolling and filling the samosa, we're going to preheat the oven to 200 degrees. We're going to bake the samosas, so you can eat as many as you want without feeling guilty. Okay, 200 degrees, oven's preheating. Back to our samosa dough. Okay, I'm just going to roughly divide this into 4 portions. Like that. Okay. And we're just going to roll this out. And you want to roll it out quite thin, because this will rise a little, the pastry will expand a little bit in the oven when it bakes.
So Jigna is asking, the stuffing mein salt nahi dala.
Yes.
Why?
We have not added salt to the stuffing because we added chaat masala, which is already quite salty, and we've added a good amount of Amul cheese, which is also very, very salty, and the paneer has its own salt. So you really don't need any additional salt. However, if you want it saltier, you can add extra salt, but I think this amount of salt is just perfect. I suggest you first taste your filling before adding any extra salt.
So Chapa and Aarti is asking, can we use air fryer? Can we use microwave?
You can use air fryer to make the samosas. The recipe will remain exactly the same. You can preheat your air fryer to the same 200 degrees, and you can air fry them. They will turn out very, very nice also in the air fryer. In the microwave, no, unless you do it on convection mode, which is the baking mode. You can do it only on that, but you cannot simply microwave them. They will not turn out.
I'm going to roll this into somewhat a kind of an oval shape, not exactly a circular shape. And like I said, roll it out quite thin. To see the right thickness, once you roll it, you should be able to see your rolling board or your rolling surface through the dough. That's when you know it's thin enough. So Jigna Mehta is asking, oven में नहीं हो पाएगा क्या? Yes, we are doing this in an oven. We are doing this in an oven. We are baking it in an oven. So yes, you can do this in an oven. Now her question is, Jigna's question is, without oven नहीं हो पाएगा क्या? Without oven, sorry, I misunderstood that question. Without oven, then in that case you can fry them. You can definitely make them the regular, the usual way. But I would recommend if you're frying them, then you let them dry a little bit. Don't fry them right away after folding, because then they will start to form a lot of bubbles on the surface. You will not have a nice smooth surface on the samosa. So definitely let them, fold them and lay them out and let them dry. The surface should be slightly dried out, and then you can just deep fry them. But there is, if you don't have an oven, there is no other way to bake the samosa. You will just have to fry them. Okay, so this is looking good. So this is how you want to roll your sheet. And then I just like to fold it in half like this, just to get them even. And you use a knife or a pizza cutter or anything that you have. Put it in the center, and then we're going to start folding the samosas. I'm going to take one half like this, put a little bit of water on the flat edge. So you're going to have a flat edge and a curved edge. You want to put water on the flat edge, and then you want to fold it like this and seal it like that. And you want to make sure you seal the corner of the cone or the tip, so the filling doesn't leak out. And press really well. Seal this like this. Okay, so once you have a cone like so, you're going to put the filling in. Okay, our oven is preheated, so as soon as this is done, we will bake it. So put in your filling. Put in a good amount of filling, because you don't want this the samosa to be hollow on the inside. So press gently like that. A bit more. Okay. So press it in nicely, and then you will have this little overhang. So dip your finger in water once again and apply it all around the edge like that. Okay, so once you apply the water, is the main thing that you want to see how to fold them, is you put your index finger and do that, and then you turn it and seal it in the center first, and then seal the rest of the edges. And press down really nicely, like that. And there you have your perfectly shaped samosa. One of the things is a samosa isn't a samosa if it cannot sit like this. It has to be able to sit upright. So once you have that, it's ready. Okay, I'm going to show you just one more and then we will go ahead and bake them. So once again, dip your finger in water, apply it on the flat edge, like that. Fold one over the other and seal. Don't forget to close the tip and press really well. Okay, you have your hollow in which we put the filling. Press the filling in so you can fit a good amount of it. Okay, like that. And then dip your finger in water again, apply it all around the edges and fold. Fold again and join. Just like that. And once you've done this, you want to check if it's able to sit. If it's able to sit, you've done it right. Okay. Done. And I've already prepared a couple of samosas beforehand in the same exact manner. So we're just going to place them all, and you want to try and use a rack that is open on both sides, maybe like a grill rack or a wire rack rather than a tray, because you want to, okay, I think everyone's able to hear? Okay. You want to use a rack that has some kind of holes on it, or maybe something like a wire rack or a grill rack, so that way the samosas can cook from all sides and the heat can really circulate through all sides. You don't want to use a tray. You want to avoid using a tray because that way then, the bottom side may not get cooked as well. This way it gets cooked from all the sides really nicely. If you want, you can brush a bit of oil, but usually when you do that, it will kind of drip through the holes and it will mess and dirty your oven. So I just avoid brushing the oil. There's no need for it. There's enough ghee in the dough, so it will turn out perfect. So this goes into a 200-degree oven for about 15 to 18 minutes, and about halfway through you want to turn the samosas around, so make sure they brown nice and even.
How much time to preheat? Shreya is asking.
10 minutes is enough. 10 minutes is more than enough. Okay, so I've set the timer for about 15 minutes. And we're going to let them bake. And while that's happening, if anyone has any questions regarding this dish, this recipe, feel free to ask.
A lot of our audience were asking for repetition of the recipe.
Okay. Repetition of the recipe. Okay. Okay. So what we first did is we prepared the samosa dough, for which we mixed maida, salt, chili flakes and Amul pure ghee. We mixed it really nicely until the flour was all coated with the ghee, and then we added some Amul milk and we made a dough that looked like this, a nice soft pliable dough. And once that was done, we wrapped it in a plastic wrap, and then we prepared the filling. For the filling, we mixed Amul paneer, Amul processed cheese, some onion, some green capsicum, some green chilies, green coriander, chaat masala and garam masala. We just mixed everything together like this. The cheese was grated
and the paneer was crumbled just by hand. So there's a few pieces and a few crumbled form, and this was our filling for the samosa. And then we just rolled and we filled. Does anyone want to see the rolling and filling again? I can do it again. Does anyone want to see that bit? I can repeat it. Is there anyone who wants to see the rolling? We can do it again. I will just do it anyway if anyone wants to see. And if there's any other questions, then
How much ghee is used in the dough?
25 grams, about around 1.5 tablespoons of ghee is used. Any other questions? It's a very simple recipe, probably not too many questions for this recipe, but I'll be doing another recipe on the 14th of June as well, which is going to be French cake or pastry or little cookies, you can call them madeleines, is what we're going to be making, eggless orange and chocolate madeleines. So you all should join again, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions for that recipe.
Will you be posting a written recipe for this?
Yes, I will. Yes, absolutely. It will be on I will be posting it to my Facebook page. I will be posting this live session along with the written recipe. It will all be there, so you all can refer to it when you want to make it.
Baking temperature and time in OTG.
It will remain the same, 200 degrees, about 15 minutes, and then it depends on the oven. But anywhere between 15 minutes is the minimum it takes to cook completely and the crust to brown nicely. But it can really, depend. It may take a little bit longer, but I would say 15 minutes is definitely minimum. Okay, I'm just making a couple more while the other samosas are baking. If you have any questions, if you want to see this process on how to fold the samosa, if you want to see it again, you can.
So Shreya Mehta is asking within how much time to turn samosas and how do you turn? Please show baking procedures.
Okay, so I will just when I turn them, you will see how I do it. I will be doing it about halfway through the baking process. So I put it for 15 minutes. So maybe around 7-8 minutes, I will just take a look at the samosas and if they've browned from one side, I will just turn them around and so they brown everywhere evenly. But I will show you when we get there. No worries.
Which one is good, OTG or microwave?
I'm not too sure of OTG because I have not used one, but what I am using right now is a NutriCook oven. It's an air fryer oven. It has the baking features, and it has air fryer features, and it has roasting. It has a lot of amazing functions, and if this is available in your region, I highly recommend the NutriCook oven. It does everything that you need an oven to do. So. But as for OTG, I'm not too sure because I've never used one, so I can't recommend a particular one. Okay, so our second roll is ready. Like that. Any other questions anyone has? Anything else?
once you've filled, you wanna apply water on the edges. And fold. Just like that.
Hetal is asking, in cooking range also we have to put same.
What's same? In cooking range, yes, you can bake this in the cooking range and the temperature would remain the same. And the timing, again, I believe 15 minutes should be enough, but you should just, if you're doing it for the first time, you should just keep checking because every oven is different. So the timing may vary, but the temperature will remain the same.
Varsha would like to know, can we make with whole wheat flour?
Yes, you can. You can. I somewhere knew that question was going to come. You absolutely can use whole wheat flour, although the flavor might differ slightly, but it won't make much of a difference. It will still be good. And in fact, if you do it in whole wheat flour, then this recipe is actually 100% healthy and okay to eat. The one thing that actually makes this slightly unhealthy is the white flour for sure, but definitely white flour becomes more flaky and it gives a nicer texture when you bake it. But whole wheat will also work. Yes, it will.
So Nidhi Mishra is asking thickness of the cover.
Thickness, not too thick. I've done it quite thin because when it goes in the oven, the cover kind of expands a little bit, so you want to keep it quite thin. Not as thin as a roti, but maybe somewhere in between a roti and a paratha, I would say. Yeah, but not too thick definitely. Otherwise, it will feel raw when you eat it. Okay, so it's been about half time for the samosas in the oven. So now I'll just show you what they look like and how I would turn them. So you can just turn them around like this. They're a little hot, so you can use a pair of tongs if you wish. Just turn them around like this. They've half cooked at this point, and now we just have to let them brown really nicely. But you see how the filling has not come out, and they're cooking very slowly and very perfectly. So we just have to let them brown now and put them back in the oven. Another about 6-7 minutes, and then we just wait and see. But the best part about baking is you don't have to let the samosas dry. You can roll them and fold them, and you can just put them all at once. As many as you can fit in your tray, you can put them all together.
So Pratibha is asking, microwave में bake कर सकते हैं क्या?
If you have a convection mode in your microwave, you can bake, but on a regular microwave setting, you cannot. Yes. Is there anything else anyone wishes to know?
So Shreya Mehta is asking, can you please post the same recipe on your Facebook page?
Yes, I will be. I will be posting the complete written recipe on my Facebook page after this live session. With the ingredients list, with the quantities, everything will be posted.
So Varsha is asking, can we make them ready way before baking and keep or bake immediately?
Yes, that's a good question. You can make them like this, just fold them and keep them ready, and just put them in a container, airtight container, in one layer. Don't try to stack them or pile them because you'll ruin the shape. Keep them in one layer in a container and keep something on the bottom, maybe some baking paper or clean plastic wrap like this. Keep something on the bottom, otherwise they will stick to the container and you will have a hard time lifting them out. So just keep something on the bottom, arrange them in one layer, and then you can freeze them in the freezer in an airtight container. Once they are frozen, you can remove them and put them in a Ziploc bag, or you can just leave it in a container as you wish. But you can definitely make and freeze. If you're using it the next day, you can just put them in the refrigerator also, and then you can just proceed the same way. So very, very easy to make ahead. If you're making it for a party or for a large gathering, you can make them and you can just bake them on the same day.
So people are asking, can we make the dough with water instead of milk?
Yes, you can. You can make the dough with water instead of milk. Not a problem. You can even use oil instead of ghee. But of course, ghee gives a much nicer flavor and it gives a more fried-like flavor to your samosa. And the milk just adds richness to the dough because we're not frying the dough, we're not frying the samosas. And when the samosas are fried, they automatically become nice and rich. But using milk just adds that richness without the frying. So it's up to you. You can add the milk or you can skip it, but definitely adding nice full fat milk will make some difference. So and you can use the same dough in making baked kachori as well. If you want to make baked kachori with any kind of filling, you can do that with the same dough as well. And of course, you can alter the fillings too. You can do your usual potato filling, the classic samosa filling as well. It's all very versatile. Instead of the chili flakes, you can add other seasonings. You can add some oregano, or you can add some cumin seeds, or you can add any dry herbs, spices, anything. I wouldn't add spices like any powdered spices because they tend to burn in the oven. But you can add herbs for sure. Any crushed herbs will do well.
So Namrata Anand, she's asking that she baked the samosas but they become hard. Why is it so?
If you try this recipe, they will not become hard. It all depends on the dough really. The proportion of the fat, which is the ghee in this case, and the flour. If the ratio is not right, the crust will not turn out right. But this ratio works perfectly. The samosa will be crisp yet soft but not hard, and also flaky. So it's been 15 minutes and they're still not as brown as I would like them to be. So I'm still going to put them in for a couple more minutes so they become even browner, and then they should be done. Now be careful because it's getting hot. Okay. So I'll give it another 3 to 5 minutes, and they should be done.
Someone was asking how thick or how thin the dough should be. This is, I want to show you the thickness. This is how it should be. Not to the thick side, but not extremely thin either.
So we have a comment from Preeti Rawal Bhatia. She says, you are so pretty as well.
Thank you. The girl right now who is talking in the back is Preeti Rawal Bhatia. She's also the hidden artist behind this Amul baby right here. Would you call her Amul doll?
Amul girl.
Amul girl, yes.
She's the Amul girl.
She's eating butter on bread.
Okay, so Promita Mitra, she's asking what is the ratio of ingredients in the dough?
I will be posting the written recipe towards the end, so you will have the complete proportion of every ingredient. Don't worry, it will all be there. This recipe will make around 8 samosas. Okay, so about a minute left, and I think these are done, kind of. I think we can pull them out now because they're nice and brown, and they're crisp as well. I don't know if you can hear it, but they're pretty crispy, and they will crisp up slightly more as they cool down. But the samosas are ready, and we can just put them on a plate and enjoy them. You see it's how crispy they are. You can hear it. Also very, very hot. I think I need
the oven off, and there we have our really delicious, crisp and flaky paneer and cheese baked samosa made with delicious Amul products. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the session, and do give this recipe a try. I will be posting the complete recipe on my Facebook page, so you can visit just maybe about 2 hours from now, and it will be there. And give this a try and send your remix to me. And also,
Would you like to break and show it to the audience?
break and show. Yes, I can do that. It's just extremely hot, but I will break and show. Also, if you guys are on Instagram, you can follow me on the VeggieFix. It's written on the caption of this live video, TheVeggieFix. VeggieFix. I continuously post recipes, especially during the lockdown. I post recipes almost every day, every second day. Lots of baking, lots of fun stuff happening there, so do follow me there as well. And yes, this is very hot. I do want to cut one and show you. Let me get a knife. Okay. Okay, is it visible? Do you see that? It's crisp and flaky. Like that. Yeah. Looks good?
Look delicious.
Looks delicious, yes. You see the crust is really nice and you know, very khasta, like what we call it. I don't know what you call it in English or in Hindi, but in Gujarati we call it khasta. It's crispy and soft and flaky, and that's what this crust is exactly. And the filling is really tasty as well. And that's it. I hope you all enjoyed. Do give this recipe a try, and I'll see you all on the 14th with an exciting French pastry cookie madeleine recipe. So yeah, see you then. Bye bye.